All right. Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap Pro Trader webinar today with JTrader. We do this every quarter here, and Joseph is a stocks trader. You probably have seen him in our Discord channel or YouTube channel. He's on every Wednesday here at 10 a.m. or a little after 10 a.m. So if you don't know who JTrader is, he's been trading for quite a while, since the tender age of 18 years old, trading very big size even back then. And now he focuses on order flow scalping, mainly U.S. equities, and he's the main trader in the small caps room. I have his contact information. If you're interested in reaching out to Joseph, I will paste this into the chat so you don't have to copy it down. Let me go through the disclosures and we'll turn it right over to Joseph. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So why don't you share your screen, Joe? Oh, you already are. All right. And let me pop it out, and you guys should be able to see Joseph's screen. Take it away, Joseph.
All right. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody, and good morning. So traders, if you were following some of the content that I was putting out this morning about the gaps that we had, this market is pretty volatile. We had several small caps gapping up. The main one that we're trading this morning is EPAL. We had also GDC, day 2, APLD, day 2, SVRE, day 1, and more. Right now, we have an SMFL that is running, but I really want to focus on Tesla first. Next to it here, you can see Bookmap. And we start looking at Bookmap with an idea to take the long. I want to go over a few seconds only at what was my, I would say, forecast on Tesla. So we can see over here, I'm going to put this 1 second big on Tesla. We can see over here my plan pre-market, right? Essentially what you can see two major plans, one for the long and one for the short. What I was watching is a consolidation into the 167 and 170. So we're talking about this major area over here. And this morning we're getting very attached to the 170 level. First plan, so the plan that I'm considering, the A plus, I always specify plan A. In this case, waiting for a breakout of the supply area 170. And this, as we said, was a possible reverse head and shoulder, because we can see first way over here, second, third one. So you can see that we have the two shoulders, the head, so reverses and shoulders. And then we need to wait for the breakout and then pull back to call it for the long. The B setup, or plan B, trend break. In this case, if we had this morning a breakdown of 168 and 50, 168, we are looking to short pullbacks. Now, I like to make two plans because we never know what the market is going to do. We never know what's going to happen. So we can form a plan, but then, of course, we need to be able to have a setup in order to, and a strategy in order to, we say, trade properly. So getting back over here to Bookmap, this morning we had one of the best patterns. It was a little bit slow at the gate, and I want to explain you why. So I'm gonna make this actually bigger. And I want to focus, there we go, on this morning pattern. So this traders is the open on Tesla over here, right at 930. We start seeing a rejection of the VWAP over here at 932, a second rejection of the VWAP, 934. And until this moment, I'm not really looking to trade this long, okay? Because as we said, our plan is to wait for this 170 breakout. And at this 170, what we have, traders, a huge liquidity stacked. So we have over here seller stacked at 170 placed, and only on the break of the level, consolidation above that level, then we can start looking for a potential long. What we have instead over here, morning opens and it's weak. So at this point, we make lower highs, lower lows. Don't start looking too long over here on dips unless you start having a reversal. Where we start having the reversal? So the reversal happens when we start forming higher lows. So we can see that we pass from lower highs, lower lows to higher lows and higher highs. And at this point, we go on the day from red to green. So this is what we call the shift, okay? We can point it over here. We're gonna write red to green, red to green, shift. Okay, trader, this is, for me, one of the most perfect setup of morning reversal. It happened also in the first 10 minutes, which is the time of the day that I prefer. I don't like to see reversals around 10th and 30, 11. The best ones happen in the first 10, 15 minutes. Then we get to the 170. And over here, I was streaming in a small cap room, Jtraderco. And we are looking for a break over here. I'm never longing into the breakout. So I wanted to see a major pullback, right? And what we see over here is A plus setup. So breakout, pullback. Essentially, if you look, it's just what we said, right? We said we were watching. Again, I'm going to repost it so you can now check it. Plan A, breakout, reverse, and then we're looking for the pullback. This is trust and solidity in the system. Now, once we had this setup, I need to confirm my setup with actually liquidity. If I don't have bars coming in, I can look for the best setup in the world, but it's not going to be confirmed. So that setup over here, which is essentially is a bull flag, right? We can see over here with the 5-minute chart and also below with the 1-minute chart. Over here in Bookmap, we can spot this in the same way with this bull flag. So you can see that the price breaks the 170, below 170, it forms lower highs, lower lows, but it starts holding this demand area over here. You can see that we have a major over here breakdown, right? At 169.50 breaks down over here this low, and this is a washout. Washout because we start right away reclaiming a level over here of liquidity. So we break the 169.50, we push back up, and we start now bouncing from this area. And you can see that volume starts coming in. Where we see the volume, well, just look over here. All the blue dots, right? So high volume stepping in. We can even do like this. And look at volume. This is massive buying pressure. Now, breakout confirmation 170. And then starts forming higher low. I'm looking with Bookmap, and this is something that I always did. I'm looking with Bookmap. If I start seeing liquidity moving along with my trade. You can see over here, we start holding, break of 171. This case, break of 172. And now I want to see some consolidation. Ideally with or this 90 MA on the 1 minute or with the 90 MA over here on the 5 minutes. So I'm still looking for that more potential move today to the 175. Okay. So that, traders, is what we had this morning on Tesla. Few points over here. Let me Okay. This is the pattern. So right now seems we're forming another bull flag. Let's see if this is going to be another consolidation. Ideally, dip over here 171 and 30, 171, and then move over here to 173, and ideally today 175. Okay, so this is Tesla for today. If you have any questions, traders, reach out. So we're going to cover more on this. But beautiful playbook today. How to trade. This is an example. Okay, this is an example. So you can see that the trader over here that I'm mentoring, so I'm following this trader on a daily basis. You start over here, just on the breakout at the 170, then recognize the breakout, so you enter on this level. Breakouts don't work. We're not in a market 2020, 19, or 21, when we had breakouts and breakouts were simply working, right? Over here, instead, we have breakouts that, as you can see, the trader had to stop in the money because essentially he understood that this was not going to hold. So he stopped out. He waited the pullback. Just like we said, he start entering over here on this area here. So on the break of the bull flag, exactly here, he started taking the long and then holding this toward the upside. So beautiful movement. You can see that he scale out at levels of Bookmap. Okay, so we can scale out at 171, parts of 172, having our, I would say, position always from here. You see that he doesn't add to this position. He trade one size, full size, and he takes over here the trade. So beautiful setup over here, traders, okay? Anybody else traded Tesla today?
Joseph, I have a question for you.
Of course.
Looking at the kind of bigger picture, I know that on your momentum plays or your plays like this here, you're looking for it to break first the daily chart,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are looking for pullbacks from that. It's a little different. It looks like to me here from the daily, but it did break the daily a bit higher. Maybe you can just talk about that setup, what you're looking for.
Of course. So let's go, traders, 1 second to the daily. Bruce, a question for you. Do you generally look for, I would say, yourself daily or even other time frame, like when I'm talking about weekly, so our time frame, or monthly?
I mean, you typically, since it's, I'm not in for very long, I want to look at the daily levels, but if I see a lot lined up there, I'll look at weeklies and monthlies as well.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, traders. So look at the daily with me. And always look over here that right now we are continuing to have a bull, I would say, intraday trend. So this is the daily chart. Let's cancel some of this trend lines. So we can see that we had the 170 level. This was a gap that we filled over here on this day. And we filled when going directly into this daily J lines. So now the main level, the main, I would say, reason for us to hold a trade would be eventually that 177. Of course, 175, so this area here would be another key level because the, say, famous whole round dollar number. Okay, so this is the first thing. The second thing is looking at this daily breakout over here, we can see that we had 2 days essentially where we had like these are shooting stars or let's say hammers. And over here, you can see this cup pattern in a breakout. This seems like a good breakout. So on a bullish close over here today, we're going to look for a target over here. So we can put this up. We can put this and this. So we're going to write down over here, breakout given from, I would say breakout confirmed by shorter time frame. So LPF plus daily time frame, HTF. In this case, we're looking for target on this 177. And this, again, is a target that we give because before it tapped into that level, because we have a confluence of elements, previous resistance, we have also the gap fill over there, we have the daily daylines. So that is the reason why we're looking for that. And you can see how beautiful is this daily breakout. But again, when intraday I'm trying to buy the breakout, I always wait. As you can see here below, I don't buy directly in the breakout because you can see that we stuffed at this 950. And this 950, oh, sorry. And this 950 traders, let's cancel this. We can cancel them all right now. This 950 is this break over here. You can see the break, it found a top over here into 170.70. So we had over here right away aggressive sellers jumping in. Okay, so those that they want always to short, those that are looking always for a fake breakout. But over here, once we got down to this spot, this is the key level. You can see the break over here, the 169 and 50. This is a washout push. This is a washout long. It's one of the setups that I like to trade on fast momentum trading. Break over here of this small tight consolidation. You can see this another cup pattern of the 170. And then once we broke that, we start like pushing. So we're going to put a few setups over here. By the way, traders, if you want to, as we do on YouTube generally, if you want to also to talk to us, ask questions, please feel free to reach out. All right, so let's put a few ideas over here about Tesla. I'm going to also write what I'm expecting. There we go. So first of all, we're going to point out a few things. And we're going to put this level as our key resistance and this level over here. So over here we see that we have a rejection. So seller jumping at 170. And over here we have a breakdown. And reclaim. What means this reclaim? This is essentially a washout long. And then over here we have the curl pattern. So we have buyers stepping in. And you can see how vertical this is going. Over here we have the second rejection. And then over here we're simply testing support, then bouncing. So confirmation of the strength of that support. This is how to spot a strong breakout. This is essentially how to spot the strong breakout. So you want to see that pullback. And after the pullback, you want to see this curl, right? These bars stepping in. And you can see many cup patterns forming. That is your, I would say, A+ setup to look for a potential push. Go back to the 5 minutes. I mean, this is the stock of the day right now. Finally, we had Tesla moving big. There we go. Can cancel all of this. Okay. We're going to keep this up.
So Joseph, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. It's been a while since I've been on with you, but in this case at the open, did you trade around the 167 to 168 level?
Down here on the dips?
Yes. No, no, no,
No.
no. After the break, after seeing the breakout, or
Over here?
no, no, down lower. Yeah, in when you see the strong volume come in there.
Okay, no, over here we didn't simply touch it.
Okay,
We wanted to wait this break and a consolidation
okay.
because that essentially gives you the lower risk. Uh, some of the, I would say, the members, like in this case, they trade over here that level that you were just pointing out. So you can see the open, it came down. So they traded a reversal. So anticipating, in this case, the breakout, right? Breakout occurred over here at 170. And then we can see this major stuff in the 170. But then we start consolidating. This is our washout they were watching before. And then you can see the volume rising over here again. So they took again a long, and now they're holding for that 173 and 175. So another great trade, and I would say even aggressive over here on this handover on this cup pattern. We have a good volume today on Tesla. We have a daily breakout. So until this is forming higher lows and higher highs, so we can see here a low, second higher low, third higher low, we can ideally look for a push. So traders, I'm looking ideally for this to rise till.
So Joseph, you're an expert with Tesla. I know your strategy is you wait for it to, so it broke the high of yesterday, 169.45 or 46, somewhere around there. And then it came back, retested, and then broke out. That's the trade you take on the retest.
Exactly.
So my question is kind of revolving around. I was getting to it in a long-winded way. Do you ever trade it up to the high, like that one trader did? And then he beautifully took his profit right there at the high
Mhm.
because he doesn't know what it's going to do at that point.
Exactly. Exactly. My suggestion over here, my tip is to hold partial of the position because you still have a good average from here. So it's good for me to sell 30 to 50%, then having a guide, for example, using higher lows, in this case with the 1 minute, or it could be even with the 5 minutes. And then if we see another setup, adding to the position. So personally, Bruce, because I still didn't talk with this trader, he's he's trading with me along, but I don't know if over here he got out entirely or he sold partial and then he added over here and retraded over here. So I will ask him after, but in both ways, it's correct. Or taking profit into the resistance, because often this market we're seeing, especially on Tesla, that we were having fake breakouts. And over here, we see that we had another reentry. You just rolled over here. So I said sellers were 25 and 25%. Then you read over here full size. Okay. So this coming from along the room. Very good work, Florian. Traders, the main point is that the liquidity that you spot came over here. And often with Bruce, I think so many times we covered this, the morning opening reversal. And this is called under. If you follow the old videos, the old lessons, which are totally still same setup that we're trading right now. So just go study them. This is one of the best setup that you will ever trade in the market. The market pushes you over here to look for an unwind because they're showing over here that we have a ideally failed the support. You can see that we're fading the support, breaking down. We even rejecting over here the VWAP. So you're expecting over here an unwind, right? But instead, this could be profit taking from big players. and this could be also the level where big players are accumulating more. So once over here, they start really pushing the pedal on the gas and start like buying because they want to now create that environment of squeeze, short squeeze environment. Over here, shorts are toast. Breakout is confirmed. 170 daily breakout as well happens. Support consolidation is holding. Okay, let's get to the new level over here now. Let's go for that 173 and then 175, which is the main catalyst that we have in this market. So I would say beautiful execution, precise more than everything. And this is really the way to trade this market. Okay, getting back over here, let's analyze the price action. Some trader asked me what I do every time that I see a big level of liquidity, like in this case, 173. If it's correct, this is one of the questions that I always get. If it's correct to scale out every single time that we have a level. I would do this. First of all, I will look at levels on the daily chart where, for example, previously the price rejected or bounced from there, even in the previous weeks or months. And then I would say compare these levels together with Bookmap. So those levels then become extremely important. For example, that 170 that we spoke before, right? So this level over here was an important area on Bookmap because we can see that they assigned here a high liquidity area. And at the same time, this level for days and weeks was an important level that was tested multiple times. And now what I'm looking for that 175, the main key all around the number, and then the daily level 177.
No, it's a beautiful setup. It's just picture perfect.
Yeah. Picture perfect, but I can tell you, Bruce, that in this market, we're starting to have these bullish days, like yesterday, Nvidia or AMD yesterday, playing the same setup. Yesterday, this was Nvidia. Breakout, pullback. Same exact pattern that we had, for example, today on Tesla. Or, for example, we had AMD. So in the same way that I'm looking today at Tesla, the same way I was looking yesterday, NVIDIA, AMD, for example, Google. So when I see the breakout, I'm looking for a first pullback. Looking for a pullback using confluence of Bookmap. I'm using a pullback with the 1 and the 5-minute chart as usual. As usual. Okay, let's get back to Tesla over here. Biden is speaking in a few minutes over here, so perhaps we'll see some movement in the market.
Yeah, Joseph, I haven't had my fill of you for quite a while, so I have lots of questions on something like this. Like Biden's going to be speaking shortly.
Mhm.
However, you're in with a really good position. You're looking for it to go a very specific route to these targets. And how do you manage your? I mean, we've covered it for years how you manage so well your losers, and you quickly cut your losses and just don't worry about it and move on to the next trade. How do you manage your winners? So this is a good example here because you are in a good position. You're looking for 75. You're looking for 77. However, you don't want to be shaken out of this
Exactly.
with this event coming up, and it makes a big difference.
And exactly. So the main point is knowing always what to do if a stock or a position, let's say future, reverses. So when you're in a trade, you have to ask always yourself some questions. The first one is, okay, now that I'm in a trade, what is going to be my target? Second, what is going to be my trailing stop? Third, if something happens like out of the ordinary, what I have to do, how I have to get out. If I have, we say, a counter trend setup for me, let's say a major stop for a news coming up, where should I bail out? So this is very important because it explains the process that you have to keep when you're in a trade. It's not just like, I have my entry, that's it, I forget about it. No, it's even when you're in a trade, you have always to have a clear idea of what you're looking at. Then, in this case, a good idea, for example, being that we see the stock is holding with the 9 MA, for example, in the 5 minutes, we could use that as a correct way to trail, or simply having levels like higher lows. So over here we have a low, then over here we form another higher low, and then moving this along. So when we form like dips, in this case, so fractals, we can simply look for those levels now as risk. So now the trailing would be over here. So if we have a dip and we start pushing, we're still like inside the trade. So we don't get out of the position until we don't crack, we don't breach our level, which is a relative low. This is formed by a fractal. Okay, it's very important how to react. Remember, how to react, because everything is working. But when you have, I would say, something out of the ordinary, then you have to know exactly how to react. Okay, and this I learned during the years with, I would say, with losses mostly. So it's something that I'm teaching during the day, so that traders can simply follow, I would say, a correct way to trail manage their position. Okay, Bruce.
Okay, thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome. So we're approaching this 173. One of the things that I want to put in clear right away is that when you have these levels of liquidity, in this case, you can see that they are stacked at every single dollar number on 70, 71, 72, 73. Okay. Sometimes will be every, the most important, every $5 number. So round dollar number. Sometimes every dollar number. What you have to do, traders, is look at how the price reacts at those levels. For example, I can take over here the first one, and then we can even zoom in if we want. I can take over here the first one. You see that we break, and then we hold it, right? And then I can see over here, second one, or actually, this is the second one. We reject, we hold, we break it. We break it, we hold, we push it. So every single one of these forms a kind of small consolidation. And it simply starts holding and pushing more. So this factor over here, this means high demand. We have a high demand for the day. We have buyers stepping in. This is totally bullish. So when you see something like this, I never look to short. I'm not looking to short something like this. This is actually super strong and bullish. Okay. I'm saying this because every single time that something in this market was gapping up, traders tend to short it. Don't do it. Okay. Can be a double sword edge. Let's see also here. We had this morning Amazon. So good work on Amazon. We can spot over here Amazon 1 second, but then I want to go back on Tesla because this is the one that is really moving. There we go. So Amazon is breaking and holding the, broke, and now it's holding the previous day high. So we have another big potential mover. Nice trend break over here. But now we missed the timing, right? You want to long into the dips. This is a nice bull flag formation, or we can even see over here triangle pattern, breakout, volume pushing. So yeah, a nice play. Let me see this traders on a 1 minute chart here. Yeah, nice bullish play. Okay, let's go back to Tesla. There we go. Still uptrending. We can put even the times and sales traders over here. I often use it. If you want to have it to go in times and sales, you can see the order passing. I will simply filter this. So we'll put minimum size. In this case, 999. Want to see the big orders passing. So I'm not really interested, buys 50 shares, right? I know we can be aggregation of algorithms, so passing lots of 100, 200. But in this case, we want to see the big players over here. And today we have a lot of volume, I know some traders will look at the ATR. And you can see here, just what we said before, we spot first the breakout, right? And then you wait for a pullback. Once it pullbacks, it forms a new level of here liquidity. Even over here, when it broke the 175, 172 and 50, sorry, it pulled back, support, pull back a second time, support. This is what I'm looking until I see this stair step up pattern. 1, 2, 3. I know we have bars in. And this is simply amazing. What an amazing way to look at the market. Was it 3 and 50? Still making higher lows.
Joseph, another question for you. I know you're looking at 175, the bigger figure,
Yeah.
compared to 174. I'm just looking at the daily chart, and there seems to be over. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not the daily chart. Well, there's some on the 15-minute chart. You can see some from previous days. A lot of volume trading up to a high somewhere around the 174 level.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the volume profile, there's going to be a lot of volume that trades within that area.
Absolutely.
And would you how would you manage your trade with this scenario?
Good question. So remember, traders, that when I'm running my charts, I'm using also volume profile to see where the highest volume was traded, or in the previous weeks or months, and that gives you, I would say, detailed information what to expect. Now, in this case, we're approaching the 174. We set the 177 target because that's the relative high of the period. But of course, 174, we expect some sellers jumping in. So when I'm in a position and I'm looking at this kind of resistance over here, 174, I may scale out if I start seeing a lower low breakdown. Otherwise, I don't want to simply sell, 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 because maybe this today is going to be the breakout of 180. We don't know that, right? So you don't want to scale out so many times. And then, for example, we get to the 175, which is our target, and we have 10% left. So we need to see, in my opinion, how how the price reacts at a certain level. So right now, this is what we said, is that we are forming over here higher lows and higher highs. We can plot our levels of higher lows. So over here, we'll put these. So right now, the last higher low is 171. So 2 points away from this move. And it's a little bit too far, right? We don't want to give back $2 over here. We can see that we have two other higher lows. This is one. And then another one over here. So we can do simply this, trail half of what we have if we break 172 and 50, which was this previous support over here on Bookmap. You can spot it over here. In the remaining part, we can trail it if we break the 172, 171, and 90 to the downside. Rather than this, we're going to hold this. We're going to hold with patience because we're still grinding with the 90 MA, still grinding with higher low. So we have a potential big mover for the day.
Yeah, it's always a question with the big momentum moves like this. I mean, look at how strong it is and that 9 EMA that you have, uh, and uh, and stay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because look over here, Bruce. If okay, we had to scale out because it's part of the system scaling out. But by scaling out, you reduce also your profit factor for the day. Over here, this is a beautiful daily breakout, beautiful pullback. Everything is there. This is the setup we want. This is the major setup of the day. So we are covering this all morning. We have a pattern like this. We need to hold it because these runs don't happen every day. So when they happen, we have to take advantage. And that's how you get those multiple R return per trade so that when you have, other losses, stop loss, this simply pays for them and more. So this is one consideration that I really like to do for traders over here.
So
So we're attempting the 174 multiple times. What I'm looking right now is or a stuff into the 174. So I'm looking for this if I have to get out at that level, as we said, 172 and 50, or better, I would like to see this 174 consolidation and then push the upside. So a potential, I would say, break and mover still to the upside. I want to check 1 second over here. AMD. Okay, AMD over here. Nothing for now. NVIDIA. Because we had these as good movers yesterday. Let's see over here also Google was another good mover yesterday. Google for now weak. Let's also put Meta. And I have my basket of stocks every day that I go over into.
Joseph, on like you had just mentioned that this is the setup that you're looking for, and they don't come along all the time.
Hmm.
Do you ever really get aggressive and scale in quite a bit on setups like this, or do you just keep it very, very consistent, always looking for the same? There's two schools on that, uh,
Yeah.
and the latter, keeping it always consistent, I imagine will give you much more kind of consistent results.
Hmm. Yeah. What I can tell you, Bruce, is that whenever I don't stick to the playbook and the strategy, I'm not trading anymore, I would say, good. So in order to have a high win rate and a high return on these setups, I must follow always my playbook. So I forget everything else that is doing that the market is doing, and I always wait and only wait for those A plus setups. These setups, I track them and back test them for a long time, so I know exactly what I have to expect, what should I expect, how I need to enter, what I need to see for me to enter the trade. If I don't have setups that are totally 100% like how I want, I don't trade them. The fact of, um, I would say, if I understood good, your question is adding, so out of the money for a position. No, I prefer to wait the perfect timing of my entry, have the certain level, the certain entry, one main trade, and get it from there. If you see the majority of the traders that come out from the room are traders that know exactly what they want to trade. They know exactly the system. They know exactly that they're going to trade one entry, maximum two. Let's say they have an ad, but you can see these trades over here. They were all with one entry. One entry. That is what you want to do. Scalping or adding is good. I had traders that they recycle a lot, they scalp also as well, but I prefer this kind of trading for me. You can see Bruce over here that for now rejected 174, and if we look at the 5 minute chart, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive bars with higher lows. Now this is the first bar that is breaking down the previous low. This is the first bar, right? So this is, I look at these things. I look if we're gonna fail over here, this, and it's gonna unwind a little bit more. What a nice move. 3 points and 50 on this. And again, traders, if you have a small account and you're saying, why I cannot trade Tesla? No, you can trade options. Actually, options are very cheap. Uh, there's a little bit to study in order to manage them correctly, but that's an amazing asset to trade. All right, now let's look at removal of the liquidity that at 137.3 and 50. Aggressive buyers stepping in. Just right now, look over here. Aggressive buyers. We start seeing over here a break of that 173.50, and right away now they're sold off. So first they remove this liquidity. You can see over here. We had 30,000 over here. They stepped in, broke the 173 and 60, 173 and 50. And now once we see that they cannot hold that, they start like dumping. So in this case, we have our trailing over here, 172 and 50. We can decide to move this for half of the position that we have left at this previous relative low. I prefer to have relative lows just out of the 90 MA, so like 172 and 60. But in this case, this is a good move. So we can take half over here and then use the second half for this level. 173, so we're dipping below the key level that we had because this was an important level, 173. You can see that we're dipping below this level here. Levels over here in Bookmap are working extremely good. Now, support is going to be 172 and 50. This area here, where also we have the 90 MA. So I'm watching for the next area over here. Let's see if they're going to hold the 173 or start rejecting the 173. That's the main difference. I start looking also over here on the times and sales, which order are passing into resistance, because that's extremely important. With Bookmap, you don't only want to look at the level, but how we react at the level. So you see that once we're touching the 173, we start having sellers. So look at the tape over here. It's essentially red, right? And you can see that we're getting farther and far from that 173. So I start looking over here if we have main sellers or main buyers. Okay. So look at how we react at a certain level. And now, as I said, main target for me is 172 and 50. So over here, I want to revisit using the 90 MA. Nice support formation over here. Nice support formation. I'm not looking to add over here though, because my support is 172 and 50 technically on the chart. So I'm considering over here as a support. I like this, but it's not the key level for me to add to the position. They're approaching 173 again. This is an important key area, as we said before. And now we see that they actually over here have been spoofing, right? So the order that we had over here, huge order at this 172 and 85, canceled. They're buying up again over here. We have some liquidity over here, stack 173 and 50. Simply waiting over here, traders. Would like to see you today, Bruce. This is 175. This is the time, trader, that you simply have to wait. There's no setup over here. Okay. We're still, you have to look at the bigger picture. We're still forming on a 5-minute chart higher lows and higher highs. Okay. So we don't have over here to bail out from the trade, get out. We still have this 172 and 50 as a key area of support. Now we're approaching the support. I want to look over here, the 172 and 50. Also want to check one of the stock that we traded short this morning, EPAL. We're in from this level over here, 275. There we go, 172 and 50, Tesla. And we're breaking down here. This is the level. Let's look over here, the level, 172 and 50. So in order to hold the trade, the remaining part, the last 25%, we want to reclaim the 172 and 50, consolidate and push. Below this level over here, 172 and 35, we'll get out. Small bounce for now, 172 and 50, 172 and 40, form a little bit of support. They still didn't create any wall of buyers over here. You can see it's still very a small liquidity area, 172 and 40. On the 1 minute, we form a lower high, lower low. Nice 25, 30 cents bounce here. So let's continue. And we're going to use that 172 and 60 now as our new micro support, and moving our trailing at the 172 and 40. So now we have a micro support over here, 172 and 60. We have a resistance 172 and 75. Zoom out because you're looking at the bigger picture. And you see that we want to hold this level here. They need to regrab, they need to reclaim this 173 here, over here, okay? If we want to think now that we have a possibility to go back up. This is our level where we're gonna stop out below here. Nice reclaim 173 now. Okay, now we can look, because we're breaking this trend line, we can look again for a push to 174. There we go, 173 and 50. You can see buyer step in. Now, look over here at the times and sales. Some liquidity stack, 173 and 50. We have to clear that. So I want to see a break over here, consolidation and push. Some seller joining from 173 and 50. Trader, we have the last few minutes together. Any questions? Bruce, any questions around?
Let's see here. No, not really. DA, it's a stock. We're looking at Tesla. We're not looking at a currency. No, I think we're all good. Joseph, maybe outline a little bit on. I just love your trade management. and the scenarios you go through.
Mhm.
So the 172.50, and you were looking for support there. So what would it look like for you to exit?
So only if now we break the 172.40, I will get out because essentially that 172.40, 172.50, 172.60 is the area of the 90 MA on a 5 minutes. And that has been the guide all morning. We can see also that before, like around 10:30, 10:45, so this time over here, we had this zone that was first a rejection, and then over here was a bounce. So over here, we had a breakdown. So we were risking just a few cents to see how it reacts over here, because often they will do that. They will break and then reclaim, just like they did over here, right? So they broke and then they fail. So always look how they react to a certain level. If they're going to put more sellers above, acting as a resistance wall of sellers, or they're simply going to reclaim, consolidate, and then push. So that's, the perfect spot, in my opinion, using this 90 minute, the 5 minutes to trail your stock.
So you're looking for basically the retest, and then the retest to the downside, and then if it starts to hit that with maybe down to a certain price level, you exit.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, great stuff.
Thank you, buddy.
Well, you've been doing it for years and you're an expert at it. I always mention go over to JTrader's room for the for basically the two most important things in trading. Number one, know if you have an edge and how to build it with all the back testing that you've done. And then number two, how to manage it.
Exactly. So we spoke about traders today. This was a good, let's say, 60 minutes. And I'm going to recap what we spoke about. 60 minutes on Tesla, explaining, first of all, the long from 170 to 174. We covered volume. We covered over here how to um, spot fake or real breakouts, how to look for morning reversals, and how to use key levels uh, for your profit targets in your trading. We also went on risk management. Okay. So this is for me a very good day. We were lucky to have this. So glad that Tesla gave us this daily breakout. Generally, when we have Wednesday, we have FOMCs, or I believe what was CPI? I think it's FOMCs always. And maybe that's like around 2:30 New York time. So the market simply like sleeps in the first hours. But today we had a very, very good volatility.
Yep. Yep. Great stuff. And no other questions.
Do you have more question, Bruce?
No other questions, Joseph. I think we're good.
And look over here. We held again that 172 and 50 again. It's making lower highs, lower lows though on a very short time frame. But until we have this level over here, we're gonna be safe. We're gonna be safe. Not adding, not scaling out. We're gonna hold with that. So ideally, it's gonna pay off.
Okay, so I've put your contact information in the chat a few times. So if anyone's interested in reaching out to Joseph, go to jtrader.co. I'll put it in again here. You can just click on the link and go to it. and you'll see it there also in Discord.
At this point, Bruce is holding the support over here, forming a possible over here double bottom at this level. If we break the 173 and 50, we have potential 174 and higher. So let's see over here. Traders follow today. This will be very interesting. Okay, this level. All right, Bruce, I think we can wrap it up over here. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds great. No, great trading, Joseph. Always enlightening over here.
Thank you very much, buddy. Pleasure over here to being over here with you traders. See you all next week. Again, reach out if you need help, and good luck for your trading. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.